everyone that's come in here alive, despite their horrible wounds, has gone out alive.
He said Corporal Rye's injuries were among the worst.
When we talk to our soldiers before war, we say, come on lads, I want to see some blood and guts. I mean, he showed both. He left some of his guts behind in the Falklands, and at least 6 pints of his own blood. To say that he has no ties with England is just a shocking, shameful denial of the truth.
Like so many Gurkhas, Lance Corporal Rye feels his homeland is the UK.
I was shocked to be refused a settlement visa. I fought for a long time as a British soldier. There is still British blood running in my body. Unfortunately, all my hopes have turned out just to be dreams.
I don't know whether to be horrified or to just burst out laughing because it's a comedy sketch. I mean, I just think of some little official with a big book of rules sitting there chewing his pencil, shutting his mind to what this guy has been through on our behalf.
But will things change? Queuing for their money, the only thing that's certain is the long walk home. Many of them have applied to move to England, but just making that application costs them a fortune.
A Gurkha must pay £500 in order to come to the UK, which represents 5 years' income in Nepal. And I find that shameful that a British soldier must pay what amounts to 5 years' income just for the chance to make an application, which is almost certainly going to be refused.
Coming up, the best news for Mr. Pun, while his countrymen decide to take a last stand.
We cannot bear anymore. We better die.
Never had a country more faithful friends than these. This man lives next to an open sewer in a squat in Kathmandu. He put his life on the line for us, and now he's living in poverty. Ex-rifleman Ek Bahadur Rana served with the British for 10 years and receives no pension. He's applied for a visa, and just like the others, has been told his ties to the UK should be stronger.
I can't begin to tell you how much I am disheartened and what I am feeling now. I want to visit the UK once in my lifetime, and I can have the opportunity to see the Queen. For me, the Queen is like a goddess. She is not only the Queen of the UK, but also the Queen of the world.
And there's no pension for ex-rifleman Bim Prasad Gurung. Recovering from a stroke and partly paralysed, he's been told the only place that can treat him is the West.
My health is deteriorating day by day. I risked my life for the British, but the government is now proving it does not have any consideration for us.
Back in England, the number 27 in Reading is being driven by a Gurkha. Gan Rai was a warrant officer who fought for us for nearly 20 years. He's allowed to stay here, but many of his friends cannot. It's unfair and cruel, he says, that they have to go.
I'm not angry, my heart is broken. We were prepared to die for this country. Now we are not allowed to come into this country. There are many Gurkhas who are young like me. If they come over here, they could shove the Britain again like me.
Time to get up at a cramped flat on the other side of town. Some of Mr. Rye's friends who've been refused visas to remain. They're relying on goodwill because they're broke. As long as they're here, they're not allowed to look for work, use the NHS or claim benefit. Life is bad.
How do we reward people who've actually shed blood for us and fought for us with a P45 and a one-way ticket to Nepal?
My colleagues, they are staying without any visa, without any work permit, any medical support, anything at all. They are not treated even like a third-class human. There is no third-class human, but at the moment we are treated as like a, not animal, but third-class human.
The Gurkhas facing expulsion are especially bewildered that the government is holding out against them at a time when 800,000 Eastern European immigrants have been allowed here without any restrictions.
In the past few years, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants have been granted amnesties in the UK. How can I explain to a long-serving, decorated British Army veteran, that he is not allowed to come to this country, but, for example, a Lithuanian plumber may stroll straight in.
We're taking people in who have no real claim to be here, who make fraudulent applications for asylum, who come to live on benefits, whatever the case may be. When we're doing all of that, in addition to the worthy cases of immigration, why? Why are we discriminating against the Gurkhas? Hundreds of thousands of Poles, a few thousand Gurkhas. We say yes, we say no. Somebody tell me the sense?
Now, I suspect
In Folkestone, just down the road from the Gurkha barracks, a meeting. There are many supporters here, but all they can offer is advice and encouragement.
this is classic British government spin.
My father fought for this country in the Second World War, and he's not allowed to come here, and he wanted to see the land he fought for. And my brothers are in Nepal, and they want to come here. They fought for this country, but they're not allowed.
I think the MOD and the government are very wily fighters in the political sense, and what they try to do is bamboozle people. The Gurkhas are the most brave and the finest soldiers imaginable, and I think that because they are in such a special place of affection, the fact that they're suffering such a great injustice is a very big, serious problem. It's almost a blot on the national conscience.
Of the Gurkha regiment.
And in Reading, another meeting with one of the local MPs, Labour's Martin Salter, saying he thinks their treatment is scandalous.
Because quite frankly, thanks is not enough. You can't eat thanks.
For Mr. Pun, it's ended happily. There was rejoicing when news reached Nepal that he could go to England. The government told Mr. Pun you're welcome only after a public outcry at home. Arriving at Heathrow, he was told there'd be a detour before he could reunite with his comrades to Downing Street. The Prime Minister told him he wanted to salute his courage and promised the UK would help him in every way possible. Mr. Pun had only one thing on his mind.
I told the Prime Minister that so many Gurkhas are living in Nepal, but they need help. I asked him to consider all those who served the British and treat them equally. I am happy to be here, but so many of my colleagues are not allowed to come.
Friends and admirers have rented a house for Mr. Pun in Hounslow, West London. Mr. Pun is a well-known figure among the Gurkha community in England, and they're proud to have him living among them. After a cataract operation, Mr. Pun can see properly for the first time in 20 years.